Well, better late than never. It nearly ended up being never, but as you can see, Tuesday was busy. So eventually we are here with one of these in one hand and one of these in another. Now, you know I've been doing a weekly beer for each country that I have subscribers in, and I think I'm just about run out of ideas of where you guys and gals may well be. The last one is New Zealand, and unfortunately I haven't got a beer from New Zealand that is commercially brewed, but I do have from a fellow brew tuber who was kind enough some while ago to send me two of his brews, Grant Baker, one of his beers, which I thought only fitting that now obviously I haven't been able to buy one because our stocks aren't very good for the selection from New Zealand, and I haven't been there this week to buy any beer anyway, so I've made use of this week. Been a pickle of a week as usual, no surprise there for me. But here we are Thursday night, and I'm now doing the Homebrew Wednesday, which I normally film on a Tuesday. So, a smoked Scotch ale to go with a smoky fire. And those colder winter nights, you need a stronger, more malty ale. So we have a Scotch ale glass, a Scotch thistle. So we'll dig out a wee bottle opener. Now you can see where Grant has coated his in Edam cheese wax. So I don't know whether we can cut around that or cut through it. No, oh yeah, we got it. Big chunk of it off there. He must be posh and seal his letters with a standard New Zealand seal, so he knows that the postal service haven't been tampering. Good firm hiss. Hopefully I haven't dropped any wax in me beer. Not huge amounts on the nose, I can smell the malt though. Pouring a nice head. Going with a steady pour. I don't know whether this was from the keg or bottle condition, so we'll do a careful pour and a tilt back into the bottle. That looks pucker. Slightly red amber to me, being colourblind. Take it as you are. Nice tight head, medium bubbles. There's a good bit of fizzle coming up from the glass, although I believe this one has got a little etching on the bottom just to encourage that. But I think the camera can sometimes pick up. You can see a little bit of a storm going on in there. Well, it's a smoked Scotch ale, so we expect it to obviously be smoky. Scotch ale's going to be malty. I don't know whether you use peat smoked or just normal Rauch malt, but we have a bit of a Rauch beer theme coming up, so this could kick it off with a few of the others I've got to go through. That head is obviously capping off a little bit of the aromas, so we'll dive straight in. Yep, now getting the smoky is quite, not overly powerful. Got that sweetness. It's a little bit of a bitterness coming round to it. Slightly whiskey-esque notes, which I don't know, is that from peated malt or something else added to the beer. This was one of his didn't cut the mustard, didn't cut the grade SJ beers. They were both the other one I've got is the whiskey amber ale. These are the two that he deemed not good enough to compete in his SJ port entry. Obviously, I think he got third place with the beer that is currently doing the rounds. But I mean, these aren't bad by my. Not as malty as I was expecting it to be, but a couple of the others. Well, it's actually Gordon's, which is the glass Scotch ale. He's quite a malty beast. This is a bit more lighter. Slight sort of a little bit sort of treacly caramel notes to it, that sort of rounded sweetness that you get. It's not a huge amount of bitterness, getting a little bit off the cap. It's on the top end of a medium mouthfeel, going up to a heavier beer. Comes in at 7.2%. Actually feels like there's no alcohol. There's a weeny bit of alcohol burn, but there's not a lot of alcohol taste. You can tell it's up there, but it's sort of similar to some of the Belgian quads or the heavier triples. Good carbonation. A cap is staying. Can't really tell if there's any alcohol legs on this. I don't think it's 7%. We'd see them. There's a little bit of glass lacing as we get down it. Slightly more sweeter coming through. But that is a jolly nice clean crisp. I'm not getting any off flavours. It's just basically the sort of caramelly roasted notes from the grain. Jolly nice. You could sprinkle that on your cornflakes. Anyway, we have moved a step closer to doing a sexed up Wilco's Pilsner kit. Because tomorrow, hooker by crook, after I've been dragged uptown by the wife, subject to the dread Christmas pointless shopping, I will be brewing hook or by freaking crook. So I'm now in the process of going through my grains. But as I said earlier, it was busy Tuesday. Well, I was on holiday, so I scratched an old itch, one that I used to partake in about 18 months ago, before I was made full time, back in the middle of this year. Some of you know I used to go regularly to auctions and do a bit of wheeling and dealing. So, being on holiday, I had a little visit. Take a look at this. Well, a segment long since gone, when I used to trek down to the auctions every Tuesday. Well, this week I've been on holiday and picked up a few bargains from the local auction. Grabbed a few more demijohns, a little cool box, got a load of tools in there, clay pigeons, not brew related, but they were cheap and I do shoot. Oh, a little Burco, don't know whether that works, and a couple of electric motors. They have reduction gearboxes on them, so they might prove useful in a future project for a grain mill when I get one. But missed out on a few good bits as well, but all was not lost, as they say. That was sneaky, wasn't we, cutting in there, because the battery was about to die on the camera, so I slipped in the old mains adapter. Enjoyed a little bit more of this, so did the missus. She picked up the whiskey note as well. Whiskey-esque, if that is such a word, but it is now because I've just invented it if it's not. Anyway, we can't grumble. I'm going to top the glass back up. She grows a mammoth head out of this tapered little glass design. Ooh, Oh, that's nice. In fact, maybe a bit more malt. Rack up the ABV. Be nice by the fire. Anyway, yes. There was a load of stainless steel tables there, which was the original reason that I got drawn back to going down there. But unfortunately, they all went a little bit more money than I was prepared to pay, and also there was the problem of fitting them in an Astra hatchback to get them home, having the fact that the van's knackeroonied. So yeah, we lost out on a 5-tier bench. A 5-tier shelving unit, all solid stainless. There was 4 smaller tables similar to the one I've got, but on wheels. And I came away with nothing, but obviously, as you can see, the day was not a total loss in time and travelling. I did manage to pick up 10 demijohns for what I used to sell 1 for. So that was alright, because I had a bloke last year, beginning of this year, he basically cleaned me out of demijohns, other than I think about 5 or 6 I've got left. And I cocked up and kept ones with the smaller tops, and they're a bit of a job to get the bungs in, so you can guess which ones I'll be rotating around for sale. Anyway, yes, so we picked up a few bargains. There was a fermenting bin with part of a 2-can kit in it and some other bits, but that got jumbled with a load of other stuff I really did not want. So I gave it a miss. Not that I really need another fermenter. Talking of which, obviously I plugged or informed everyone about the conical, fast ferment conical last week. I think it's Brew UK are going to have them in sometime this month, and I think they're £79 from them, so obviously cheaper than the Belgian €100, and obviously whatever the postage may have been, because they don't do free postage as far as I'm aware, certainly not outside of mainland Europe or Belgium. Anyway, not to England. Another reason for coming out of the EU, bastards. Anyway, yeah. That's good. Yeah, so we got demijohns, and we also picked that motor up. On closer inspection, the one on the frame is a 415 volt 3-phase motor, so not a lot of good to me, although obviously saleable, and the frame might be handy for a grain mill, which is what sparked my interest with the other little thing, although they had it down as a pump, but it ain't no pump. That's 2 different gearboxes on it, reduction drive. I think one's a 20:3 ratio, which is the one in the middle, just past the motor, which has a knob on it to adjust the speed. And there's another one on the end, which I can't quite find out a lot about that, but what I do know is the middle bit is 200 quid to buy new, and the other bit is 189, and the motor is about £170 on its own, and I paid a tenner. So as long as it works, or even if it don't, the gearbox is saleable or keepable, because obviously that would be a reduction unit to drive any future grain mill. So more junk for the shed. And obviously loads of clays, because I do like to partake when given the chance, which isn't very often, in a little bit of shooting. So I've got clays, I've got loads more clays, I've got a trap, I've got the guns and nowhere to shoot, which is a little bit of a slight problem, as the neighbours get a bit fed up with all the broken clays landing in the gardens if I try and do it in the garden. But yeah, so we should have some brew footage coming up shortly from tomorrow's intended brew. I might see if I can storm in a couple of other things that have happened this week have prevented an earlier Homebrew Wednesday and an earlier brew schedule, and some other bits and pieces I won't go into because it's not homebrew related. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your week, and whatever you brew, enjoy drinking it. Cheers, Grant. don't forget to check his channel, Mr. Grant Baker. I will put a link to his YouTube channel in the comments bit below. Cheers to all the new subscribers that have joined my channel this week. Thanks for subbing. See you next week. Cheers. Bye.